Okay, yo, what's up, guys? I'm back with another video. I wanted to say that you're gonna make mistakes, and that's okay. It's cool. You probably going through a period where you're like, shit, keep messing up, keep doing these little things that's pissing people off, pissing myself off. You're gonna make mistakes. That's no newsflash. Today, I'm here to read some quotes from some very powerful people, and we're gonna discuss their takes. So, when it comes to growth and learning, anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. And that comes from Albert Einstein. So we know what he's done and how he's made an impact on this world. And it's facts, yo. Like, we're going to make mistakes because we haven't done it before. You haven't done it before. Or maybe you haven't done it as much as another person may have done it. But there's a beauty in trying something new. There's a beauty in, I guess, doing something that's out of your comfort zone, challenging yourself. There's a beauty in that because not everybody is willing to take the risk. Not everybody is willing to try to be more. And it's because they're scared. Or maybe they're very, very comfortable with where they're at. There's a lot of things that I haven't tried that I'm like, yo, that's dope. I wish I could do that. And all honesty, I wish I could do that. Some people here's an example for me. I love seeing people cook. Me and my fiance can watch these bake shows, these cooking shows. We can watch a whole season in a week. And I'm like, yo, that's dope. They on this show failing, showing what they can do, succeeding. And I can barely cook, y'all. I can't cook. And again, this is just an example, but I definitely need to get in that atmosphere more of trying to cook because I would love to put down a serious dish. You know what I'm saying? And you may relate to that. Maybe not the cooking aspect, but another thing in your life that you've been willing to try that you probably are just afraid to do because you're going to fail at it. So let's take that risk together. Let's take that jump together and try and do something that we haven't done before. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, I like this one. So Henry Ford, I'm not sure who that is, but he says the only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. So putting that into context, like if I'm not willing to challenge myself, I'm learning nothing. I'm not getting better. I'm not improving myself. I'm not improving the people around me. So it's best to learn even a small concept rather than just chilling and being posted. Man, I've learned some things where I was like, yo, why the hell do I need to learn this? And then boom, there comes a situation where it's like, yo, it's dope that I figured out how to do this. A small example would be, I don't have it here, but my Rubik's Cube, yo. My Rubik's Cube, I used to look at that. I'm like, yo, who's going to spend the time and figure out how to do a Rubik's Cube? And then I'm like, yo, wait, how much percent of the world can do this? Like this little thing that I took probably, honestly, y'all, like an hour and a half to learn is something that, you know, some people probably wonder, like, yo, how could someone do this? Well, all I really had to do was watch a little YouTube video and try and figure it out, man. So I know there's probably, you know, the couple of people who do watch this saying that it's pointless. It's pointless. But it's actually more pointless not doing it and learning nothing, right? It's best that we put ourselves in situations where we can grow and become better. Ooh, okay. Bob Ross, famous painter, said, "There are no mistakes, only happy accidents." And I love that because Bob Ross is obviously famous painter and, has made so much, stunning visual art where, you know, it's in the beauty of the beholder. A lot of people may see Bob Ross paint and says, yo, like what makes this guy so incredible? And I think first and foremost, with a lot of these people who have took jumps and have became something bigger where people appreciate them, love them, it's because they put themselves out there and made a mistake. Bob Ross could have been painting a picture and said, well, I don't like where that is, and scrapped the whole thing. But instead, added on to his mistakes and made something beautiful with it. And that's from visually looking at something. He visually created something, because there's no way that Bob Ross has not painted a picture without, like, this doesn't look good, and decided to scrap it. There's probably a couple of those. I'm pretty sure there's probably a bunch of those that he did that too. But there are definitely some pieces of art where he was able to maximize his mistake and still put it on display for everybody to see. And to me, that's beautiful. To me, that makes the art more relatable. It makes it more stunning when you can look at something and say, yo, that picture is not perfect, but I can see where he was trying to go, or I see where he was going. There's going to be some parts of the art that might not stick with a lot of people. And that's okay. That's perfectly okay. Some people it really might hit. You know what I'm saying? Here's a humorous take. I have learned from my mistakes, and I am sure I can repeat them exactly. So, again, with all these quotes, there seems to be an underlying goal that you can take home from each one of them, which is you got to make mistakes in order not to do them again, right? I've made a mistake so crazy before where I was like, whoa, what am I doing? How could I ever do that? And now the future me is always going to know, don't do that certain thing. Don't do that certain thing. It's like when you're a kid. You make a mistake and you're like, uh-oh, like it's bad. And your parents gonna get on you for a month. Your friends gonna tell you, oh, you shouldn't have done that. And you probably won't ever do it again. But it's the point. The point is that you need to get humiliated. You need to kind of go through moments in this life where people are laughing at you. People are disappointed in you. People know that you can do much better because of the person you are. So whoever's going through something where they feel just so humiliated, good, perfect, how can you bounce back from that? How can you become stronger? Because you definitely will. Now think about if you didn't make that mistake, the situation that you could have been in, maybe we would have been on a more grand stage. It's very important that we make mistakes and we realize the mistakes we're making so we don't ever do it again. You don't know how great you can be. You don't know the position you could put yourself in until you try and put yourself in that position, until you try and be great. And I've battled with that before. I battled with it. I've kicked myself down. I've put myself down. And I've embarrassed myself even more when I didn't commit to something fully. Commit to that embarrassment fully, man. Really embrace it. Yeah, I slipped up. And when I think of an embarrassment, I think of slipping on a banana peel. I don't know. I don't know why. But I guess my mind has just been programmed to do that with all those cartoons I used to watch growing up. But I think of slipping on a banana peel, throwing my drinks and my food in the air, and it just hit me in the face. Right? Now every time I walk, my head's on a swivel. Okay, I'm looking, boo, boo, boo. Where anything on the floor, anybody I'm gonna bump into, am I gonna bump into him? Right now I can see. Now I'm aware of the things that's in front of me because I slipped before, because I slipped up and I fell and I hurt myself, broke my hand. Now whenever I do a behind the back dribble move, I'm looking to see, okay, where my opponents is because I've lost the ball. I've turned the ball over and dudes came down full court and did a windmill slam. I've done that. It's important to know how can I get sharper. And again, I'm here to tell you today that you definitely can get sharper. There's something that you do that is incredible to a lot of people. And because you made a mistake, you're willing to stop. Don't ever stop unless you're at peace with your craft. I think that's a big thing. And I think that as we all continue to get wiser, it's important to understand that making mistakes is not a sign that we have to stop. It's a sign that we have to keep going and pushing through. And sometimes your mistakes can help someone. Someone can look at that and say, hey, why'd he do that? Why'd he do that? Which is fine. And then say, hey, look, I'm never going to do that. You might have helped someone. I'm not saying go out there and be foolish and do a bunch of embarrassing shit. But at the same time, do what's right in your heart. Do what's right in your mind. Do what's right for your inner peace. Because you're working on your inner peace. You're working on yourself. So again, if you're not trying, you're failing. That's all I got to say today, man. Peace.